So today we have kind of a fun stream. We are preparing to actually add entities into SpacetimeDB. So that will be like tracking things like all the enemy NPCs. So it's like all the zombies, the chickens, the cows, all that stuff. This will also allow us to like do water sim stuff on the server. So like when you like dump a bucket of water, all of the like water flows. We will end up adding that. That's not something we're going to work on today, but that is going to be a future stream. But the thing that we have to work on today, we're basically working on a bunch of prerequisites. So like, what are we working on today? Today, we are going to work on actually have a list. So we are going to be tracking the players in SpacetimeDB. So that's like tracking their position and their rotation in SpacetimeDB. We are going to be handling like player login. So players will be able to like log in with like a username, and then other players will be able to see that username, stuff like that. We're going to, if we can, get chunks automatically spawning. So like as you approach a chunk boundary, it should like spawn more chunks into the world. We're going to take a crack at that today if we have time. And if we finish all of that miraculously, then we will actually jump into the inventory, because the inventory is something we kind of need for entities. So the and I guess I should like maybe diagram this for people who maybe haven't like kind of been understanding up to this point what the structure looks like. I'll go ahead and just draw this super quickly. So essentially what we have right now is we have like the game clients here. Okay, got this, and then I can like copy this a whole bunch of times. Essentially, we need this thing in between SpacetimeDB and the Minecraft clients. This is SpacetimeDB. SpacetimeDB. We need this thing. And what is this thing? This thing is kind of like a translation layer. That's what it's supposed to be. Which knows how to speak Minecraft. Essentially, SpacetimeDB doesn't know how to speak Minecraft, but this translation layer does. So this translation layer knows how to speak Minecraft. It knows how to speak SpacetimeDB, so everything's good. So all these clients connect here. Okay, and then these are just like this, essentially. And I guess you could even do this. So essentially, the logic right now for tracking player entities is in here. There's actually quite a lot of things in here. Sorry. There's quite a lot of things in here. What's in here? We've got like the player positions, the like player rotations, all that stuff. It's essentially like everything that we don't have in SpacetimeDB right now. So it's player position, player rotation, like all the inventory stuff is actually currently in here, and all the entity information is actually in here as well. Essentially, we're trying to take these things and move them into SpacetimeDB. And actually, like you could even, we have like a module in SpacetimeDB. So it's SpacetimeDB, but then we have a module. This is like our SpacetimeDB Minecraft. So our kind of first step today is to take these first couple of items, the player position and rotation, and put them into SpacetimeDB. So this is going into here. Actually, once we finish all of this, I think we're kind of like, I don't want to say we're done, because Minecraft has been such a huge journey, and I've like learned more about Minecraft than I've ever wanted to at any point ever. It's been a lot of fun, obviously, implementing Minecraft on stream. And yes, I have learned more about Minecraft than I ever wanted to. But we're kind of getting somewhat to the end of having a complete Minecraft working in SpacetimeDB, which is cool. I'm looking for a specific file, and this file doesn't actually exist where I'm looking. That makes sense. This player thing exists inside of here, and we already knew this. So essentially kind of what I have to do is I have to like copy this and kind of put it in here. That's probably where I'm going to start. Player.rs. Okay, excellent. I'm going to start by commenting out a lot of things in here, actually. My one rule that I've learned for migrating any code at this point is always comment things out, don't delete them. I know it's like tracked in Git and all that good stuff, which is cool, but like if you go in here and like you're like, oh, I want to like migrate this code, and you start deleting stuff, then you like forget that it exists, and like you're like, oh, you like forget to like implement it or whatever. I think commenting it out so that it's like in front of your face is the like proper thing to do. And I've actually like converted like a couple things onto SpacetimeDB at this point, or at least helped convert things onto SpacetimeDB. I personally think the commenting things out approach is best. Okay, we've handled this thing. This actually gets commented out as well. Handle disconnect, not something we're going to handle in SpacetimeDB, but I'll comment it out for now. Okay, and then we have these specific ones. These ones will probably end up becoming reducer calls, so I'm going to comment them out for now, but we will actually come back and handle these. I'm going to keep, so the thing that we're focusing on today is handling the position and the look vector thing. So we're going to keep these in for now, because we'll actually have to handle these. Ooh, tracking chunks is going to be a little different. So tracking chunks in SpacetimeDB is going to be really easy. Like essentially, well, specifically this is like sending chunks to the player that they're supposed to be able to see, but generating new chunks in SpacetimeDB is going to be really easy once we have the player position in there. So let's go ahead and comment this out as well. Close block window. And you can go and you know, you have to like go and like find a weapon, like try to kill the other players in the game, and then if you're the last person standing, then you win. Like that's the game mode. So it'd be easy to make that. Okay, cool. I'm thinking this new function is literally just going to end up being like a table insert, but I'm going to leave it for now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this to be a SpacetimeDB table. So server player is becoming a table. I'm going to probably kill most of that. We do need this. And then instead of lib, I think we have to like include this mod player. Okay, cool. And I think I do have to like copy this thing here. I forgot about that. Okay. Okay, excellent. Cool. So now we have all this proto stuff. Now this should be like mostly happy. Like for example, position packet, I should be able to import this. Excellent. So then this becomes a spacetime type. So we're going to do derive. I can just add it here. This becomes a spacetime type. And I actually very much agree with how this is set up. Essentially all of these three functions, handle position, handle look, and handle position look, all of these feed into this handle position look inner, which then does the logic, essentially like deduplicates the logic for all of this. Oh, and I've just realized something, and I didn't realize that until just this moment, is that the player's position is tracked via an entity, which is not bad or wrong. We just don't currently support entities. This is not a huge deal, but something we have to consider here. Okay, handle position. It's saying, okay, handle this position, this server player, okay, handle this position change with this position packet in this world. It's strange that you're passing the world because the player should know what world. It goes against my better judgment, I think, here, but I'm just going to delete this world parameter from here. Mainly because I don't think we need it. Because it's so trivial to just look up what world the player is in. Or at least it should be. It should be trivial. This player thing has like a... That is interesting. Okay, where is the world specified? Like, what world are you in? I'm going to guess that that's part of the entity? I know it's not necessarily part of the entity right now, but I'm going to make it part of the entity. So if we jump back to here, I'm going to give this a world ID. This is auto inc primary key. Okay, so if position is sum, we're going to do world push events this. Okay, if look is sum, push this. What's the best way to do this? And then self-update chunks, this is going to essentially update the chunks that the player can see. So this part I'm actually going to comment out because this is not something I think SpacetimeDB super cares about. We are going to update this. After we update this, we have to go SpacetimeDB entity, update by entity ID. This is going to be the entity.id, and then we're going to pass in entity. So we've updated the entity, and then we're also going to update the player. So this is going to be server player. Which I want to rename, actually. To SpacetimeDB server player. This will be update by entity ID. Okay, entity human with these properties. Okay, base can persist, can pick up. Living.artificial is true. Okay, give it some health. Don't super care about this yet. This is like more entity things. Entity ID is world, world spawn entity, entity. Okay, so instead of doing this, what we're going to do is let new entity is equal to SpacetimeDB entity, insert a new SpacetimeDB entity. Okay, entity ID is going to be 0, world ID is 0, and then on ground I think we should start it as false. And we're going to say let new player is equal to SpacetimeDB server player insert. It's not coming up yet. I don't really know why. SpacetimeDB server player. Okay. All right. We are going to add this. So then the entity ID is going to become at new entity dot entity ID unwrap. Okay. Probably just want to do this, clone it. Username. What is the username? So the username I think is actually passed in as part of the packet. So I think we do packet.username like that. Okay, position. We need the spawn position. Spawn position, clone it, I think. Default for look. Sure. What is this? It's a vector 2. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now that we've added this, what we can do is update the client bindings. Generates client files. I have to fix some compilation errors first here. Spacetime build. Okay, the trait bound glam dvec3 is not satisfied. Okay, so we have to use the SpacetimeDB version of this. How did we do that? Vec3. So SpacetimeDB ivec3. So we have to change this. I want to rename this to SpacetimeDB position packet. This translation layer kind of like is not super fun to deal with, and I wish this was easier in SpacetimeDB, and we'll probably try to make it better somehow. Okay, this goes away. All this goes away. This goes away. Unresolved import, create player, SpacetimeDB player. Let me just delete it for now. Expected item after doc. Oh no, is this all going to be documentation errors? I really hope not. All right, here we go. Okay, so borrow of moved value entity. Oh, entity. Entity is moved. Okay, so I think actually we have to, this was the problem here, I think. I don't even think that we need to, that's because if we do that. Entity then needs to be able to be cloned. So this we need derive clone. And everything in here is good. There's no like vec or anything in here, so that, I think that works. All right, let's look at this one more time. So SpacetimeDB vec2. not I-vec2, just vec2. Has an x and y, f32. Okay. Then we take a value, glam, vec2. This is going to be SpacetimeDB vec2. Values x and y. From SpacetimeDB vec2 for glam vec2. From vec2, return a glam vec2 xy values. Okay, that looks correct. We may have to jump into here to actually import it. So this is going to be vec2. Okay, so it does compile. It compiles now. So now what do we have? So we have a couple new functions here. Now that we've gotten this to compile, we've finally made some progress. Let's look at this. If we go into lib, we should have handle login. Okay, this is now a SpacetimeDB reducer. Okay, we generate a spawn position, which in our case is just going to be 0, 0, 0. Well, actually, it's not. It's 0, 90, 0, 100, 0. So the player is going to spawn way up in the sky. They're going to drop down onto the ground. Okay, so we have new entity. We are creating a new entity with entity ID. This is going to generate us a new entity ID. Actually, this world ID has to be 1. And I'll tell you why. Because this world ID is auto inc. So therefore, the first world, it is not. Hold on. Am I nuts? Am I crazy? New world ID. New world. No, it is 1. It is 1. So when we initialize the module, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new world by inserting SpacetimeDB world insert. That ID is going to be 0. Okay, so the first one that gets created should be 1. Not necessarily guaranteed to be 1 is something to know. So the way that we're doing this is a little strange, but we're just going to assume that world 1 exists. So we're going to put them in world 1, which is supposed to be the overworld. The different worlds in Minecraft are the overworld and the nether, and the end. I guess there's 3. Okay, cool. So this is world 1. We're going to place them in world 1. Then we are going to insert into the SpacetimeDB server player, okay, with this entity ID that's going to be generated here, with their username. We're going to give them a spawn position. We're going to set their position to be the spawn position, and then we're going to give them a default look vector, which the player will quickly override this. I'm just putting in something here so it's something sane. But the player will very soon after spawning write over that, which is fine. So we have this new function. We have on this side, the player can now call handle position. Actually, we have to make all these reducers. This needs to be a reducer. I'm glad we're going through this, because if I didn't do that, I would have been like, oh, why can't I call this reducer? It's because we didn't mark them as reducers. Okay, so we have 3 new reducers. We have handle position, handle look, and handle position look. So handle position look essentially does the same thing. Like handle position, handle look, and then handle position look. You can either update your position, update your look, or you can update both. This needs to be a spacetime type. It is. Is this a spacetime type? It is. I want to rename this to SpacetimeDB look packet. Rename this one to SpacetimeDB position look packet. Let's try build again. Seems like we have a compilation issue. I don't know what's going on with that. Expected typed argument. Oh no, you can't have at self in a reducer. Okay, so how do we fix this? These are actually not reducers. We'll just fix it by undoing it all. Cool. We'll go into lib here and we'll actually kind of make like wrapper. We have to write some wrappers for this quickly. So we have handle position, which is not going to be self-mutable. This is like that. Okay, so handle position for the SpacetimeDB position update packet. We've got the position, the stance, and on ground. Oh boy, do we need something else in here? We need the player ID. Okay, so we can look up the player ID by, well, entity ID. I guess I should be more specific. So this is going to be let SpacetimeDB, the server player, filter by entity ID, and then we're just going to take this entity ID. Okay, we're going to expect on this. If we don't find it, we're going to say could not find player with ID, and then we'll do entity ID. And then I think this has to be as string. SpacetimeDB player. Okay. Filter by entity ID. This entity ID. Expect. Okay. And then we're going to call actually on the player itself. Let player. Sorry. We're going to do player dot handle. Okay. This has to be pub. Also, the other thing I don't miss from C++, like using it all the time, is header files. I feel like header files, solving header file issues is just like absolute chaos. Or at least it can be. Okay, this is actually not self, is it? It is self-mutable, but not in a way that matters, which is why it's like, oh, why does this need to have self? I guess we can keep it as self-mutable. It is weird, though, that we're calling this... Yeah, whatever. Like, this will mutate the thing itself, but then we're saving it back in here. It's almost like this should honestly go here. But it can't. So that's a little strange, but I'm going to keep it for now. I really want to get this working today. I am just on a beeline right now for the getting this to work. So okay, we have for handle look, we have handle position look inner. Yeah, I need to swap this out here for this. This goes here. Okay. This becomes SpacetimeDB reducer. Okay, this is also reducer here. Okay. Developing SpacetimeDB code at the speed of light here. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, this should compile. This should compile. It doesn't compile. Serialize is not satisfied for what? This needs to be SpacetimeType. Okay, this is SpacetimeType. That is SpacetimeType. Now it should compile. Okay, now it does not compile. What are we doing? Could not find x86 in what? What? For what? Why does it need that? How did that get added in? What even was that? What was that? That was the craziest import I've ever seen. What was that? Like x80, like something super specific. I have no idea what happened there. I'll probably have to like watch the stream back. I have no idea how that got added. That was so crazy. Okay, cool. So now we can generate our client files. This is going to give us some new files in the translation layer. So now the translation layer is going to know about a couple of new things for us, which is helpful. So we can go ahead and jump to MC173 server. Okay, this is like the bit this is the part that actually knows how to speak Minecraft. Let me see for a second. Do we have any example code that I could copy for this? Probably not. It's going to be like on... Yeah, on handle login. There's three things we have to add here. On handle login, on handle position, on handle position look. And then what was the other one? It was just on handle look, I think. So we need to add functions for these things. Is there not just on handle look? There is on handle look. I don't know why it's complaining. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy on whether updated. Oh boy, I will probably need some help with this, but we'll see. Okay, no, I can do it. I'm a big boy. So on handle login here, I'm gonna call this on handle login callback. So I should be able to do on handle login callback. I'm going to do the same thing for these three. So this is like the translation layer function that gets called when on handle login is called. So this will be on handle position. Okay. On handle position and look. On handle look. I'm going to do callback. Otherwise, there's like kind of a namespace collision. Okay, so then I'll register this. Okay, we get callback at the end. Oh, callback. On handle look. Callback. Okay. This is not going to build, but we will try it. So spacetime cargo build -p server. So on handle login, so we have this login packet, which is going to contain. This is the arguments, obviously. And we've written some data to some of the tables. So actually what I want to do first is go to function handle login in here. I'm actually going to copy all of this. Maybe I should just call this function. I don't know. I'm going to copy it for now. Okay, so what are we trying to do here? We're going to say if the packet protocol version is not 14. I see. Hold on. No, we don't want to do this sort of stuff. So this check happens before the call. This happens before the call. This happens before the call, I think. Yeah, it's all of this stuff. It's this stuff here. We have some stuff we have to import here. Oh, world state seed. I think we can get that. So we have to get our world. So we're going to say let world is equal to SpacetimeDB world. Filter by ID at login. Wait, hold on. So let entity is equal to SpacetimeDB entity. How do you know which entity? We'll have to do a different callback then? Like essentially what I was going to do is say, oh, in this like on handle login callback, I was just going to do it here, but like this doesn't give you enough information. Like I need to check to see when an entity is inserted for the first time or something, but that's a little strange. And I need to check to see if the caller was, oh boy. What is your argument? How are you doing, Cooler SK? Okay, so there's a little bit of complexity here with how the SpacetimeDB callbacks work, because initially I just wanted to track any invocation of the handle login reducer call. Unfortunately, once you're in this callback, you don't have like a, oh, here's the player that was updated, because the player is like created in this reducer. So I'm just thinking, what's the best way to do this? I guess we could listen for inserting into the SpacetimeDB server player table, which is like not super great. So I'm going to say on SpacetimeDB server player insert. No, this is what I want. Like, but I want on chunk inserted. This is the function I want to copy. So this is going to be on SpacetimeDB server player inserted. Player SpacetimeDB server player. Okay, so now we can get all the information that we need. So quite a few things there that we're supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, I have to run to a meeting like at noon, so I only have 7 minutes to get to that meeting. Plus, I want to quickly go grab a snack, so I might wrap it up for here for now. But next stream is going to be huge. We're going to open up with finishing this. We'll actually be able to get multiple players in the game. Then once we finish that, we're going to jump right into essentially doing inventories. So like player inventories, chest inventories, that sort of stuff. So we're going to add support for that next.